Okay, welcome to the phase 9 of this iPhone app development course. I'm very happy we've gotten this far and I'm happy for what we're going to learn in this phase. So, on the last phase, we learned about table views and how to create a table view and how to add cells to that table view. And if you remember, these are cells, each of these are cells. We dealt with this, how to create one, how to connect the cells to a custom class called UI table view cell. We went through all these and we also went through how to populate these data on the table view cells. Um, so this time around, we're going to be creating even more advanced cells. This one we created last time was, it pretty much just had strings and then a button at the end. This time around, we're going to be creating a table view that has cells that are much more advanced. Let me show you. So this is what we're going to be creating this time around, these kinds of table views, compared to last time when we had a very basic one. So this table view, what sets it apart is that it has a name, an image view, a like button, a comment button, which also includes the count for each of these attributes, and then it has this giant balance button, and also of course the corners around it. So this is going to be very similar to what you see on these mainstream apps like Instagram and Facebook. So let's dive in. But before we dive in, I want you to download this icon pack called SF Symbols. SF Symbols are an extension of the default icons you already find on the iPhone app development suites like Mac or iOS and Xcode. So Google SF Symbols uh, and then click on the first link, developers.apple.com, um, that link. So click on it and then it's going to bring you to this page. So as you can see, SF Symbols is a bunch of icons and images that you can use in your project. Um, they really help a lot. That way you don't have to design your own icons because they contain a lot. Um, so go ahead and download it. Then once you're done with that, I recommend you restart Xcode and even restart your computer. Oh, by the way, while you're downloading this, make sure you accept all permissions that it asks for. That way it can integrate properly with Xcode. So once you're done with that, restart your computer, then we'll move on. So today we're going to be creating this table view, and first we'll have to of course create this new screen and then add a table view and then create the cell for the table view. So let's start off by creating this new screen. Um, so this is what we had from last time. So this time around we're going to be creating a new screen. Last time we were on view controller 7. So let's go ahead and add a new view controller and call it view controller 8. So I right clicked on the view controllers folder. Oops, my bad. So I right click on the view controllers folder and then click new file. And then we need a Cocoa touch for view controller. And let's change this type to view controller, UI view controller. Then we'll call this view controller 8. Next, create. Okay, then let's do the same for storyboard. Right click on the storyboards folder, new file, then storyboard, next, and then we'll call this storyboard 8. Okay, so let's get rid of these comments, we don't need them. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to launch this storyboard from our original screen. If you remember, we have our buttons here on the first screen. So we're going to be attaching this button to View Controller 8. So let's go ahead and do that. But first we need to connect Storyboard 8 with View Controller 8. And to do that, we go on Storyboard 8. And then we open up our View Controller in there. If you don't have one already, drag one in from the plus button. So click on the View Controller and then click on Identity Inspector. And then specify View Controller 8 on here. So View Controller 8, that's the last one. And then copy the same name and paste it on that Storyboard ID. Press enter and then check this box down here. Okay, so now we've connected Storyboard 8 with View Controller 8. All right, so let's do a quick test and make sure it works by running the app. Oh, we still need to connect the buttons. So on the first View Controller, let's go to the Storyboard for the first View Controller. We need to connect this button to the View Controller. So let's call this Screen 8 Advanced Table View and tab bar. Yes, we're going to be dealing with tab bars today as well. Tab bar. Advanced Table View cell and tab bar. Yeah. Enter. Okay. I think I need more space here. And that's gonna be a very long button. Maybe I should make this smaller. Text size. Okay, come on. I don't like how the dimensions stretch to the end of the screen. Okay, so this is Screen 8 Advanced Table View Cell and Tab Bar. Alright, so now we connect this to our View Controller. Remember, we click these dashes at the top, click Assistant, and that should open up our corresponding View Controller. Okay. So scroll all the way to the bottom and then connect, hold on the Control key, drag it into here. And we'll call this Screen 8 Button Clicked. Okay. So now that it's done, wait, what? Let's see. Yeah. So now we're on Screen 8 button click. We're going to copy this code for launching a new screen. And then we paste it in here. And then just change this to Storyboard 8 because that matches the name of the storyboard and the View Controller that we have. And then change this one as well to View Controller 8. So now we can launch this app real quick and test. I'm running on iPhone 11. It's launching. Okay, so let's click and check. Awesome, it's working. Very good. All right, so let's proceed with designing the app. All right, so we've connected that button. Now we are on to designing this screen. So as you can see here, the first thing you would notice is there is a tab at the top, and then below the tab is a table view. So that's a vertical stack. They are stacked from top to bottom. So that's a vertical stack we need at the top of our design, a vertical stack view. So let's go ahead and build that in. So I'm going to open up our storyboard 8. Okay, it's blank. I'm going to add a vertical stack view. Okay, and then next I'm going to expand the dimensions of this to match the screen. To do that, press 0 tab 0 tab 0 tab, and then add for constraints. Great, so now our stack view is stretched. So now the next thing we will do is to add this horizontal stack view and then our table view. By the way, this is a horizontal stack view, or this appears to be a horizontal stack view, because we can see that this label here, and this this button is stacked side by side, that is in a horizontal way. So that's how I know this is going to be a horizontal stack view. So we have a label here, a space here, and then a button. So let's go ahead and build this in. Oh, by the way, so let's first of all add the top stack view and the table view at the bottom. Then we'll dive deeper. So let's call this, let's add the stack view. So we're going to need a horizontal stack view. Put that in our main root stack. Let's call this root stack view, root stack. Okay. All right, so now we have this top stack view. Let's call this one top stack. Top stack. We're going to add our table view below it. Okay, so now we have the top stack and the table view added. Let's look at the proportions of things. So it looks like this is a 10% and this is a 9%. So let's assign a ratio of 9:1 for this stack view versus the table view. So I'm going to click on the first view and then hold the shift key to click on the table view, and then I'll click on constraints, equal heights, because they are in a vertical stack view. Okay, so now I'm going to add the ratio of 9:1. Okay, let's see. Okay, we need to make this a little smaller. So how about 9.2? By the way, let me make this bigger. I need this to be exact. Yeah. All right. How about 9.1 to 9.1 to 0.9? Yeah, much better. Okay. So now this is done. The next thing we're going to do is to add this label here, a space, and then a button. All right. And it looks like this button is going to have a much smaller weight. So overall it's going to be, let's add them first. So let's see. So we need a label, put it in our top stack, and then we also need a space. In this case, it's going to be a view, blank view, and then we need a button. Okay, our button is going to be okay. So let's add equal widths to them. Okay, so all looks good except that we need this button here to be smaller. Let me color code that button so that you can get a good sense of what I mean. Let's see, button color, how about green for now? Okay, so we need the weight of this button to be smaller. We need it to be much more smaller to match what we have here. So I'm going to find the constraint that deals with that button and then make it smaller. So that will be this one. That will be this one. I will adjust the multiplier to be, looks like a, let's just try a 6.4. 6. How about smaller? 3.7. Yeah, that looks better. So this is our label and this is our space. So let's go ahead and design this to look as we want. So the label is titled Social Bank. Social Bank. I'm going to make this bold. Then increase the font size. I'm gonna center it. What else? Then for the button, I'm going to remove the background color I have on there. Clear color. Instead, we want it to have this icon over here. So I'm going to remove the text. And then on the image property, I'm going to select person. In case you don't see this person image, you might need to install the SF symbols I talked about. Okay, so I'm gonna select person and then I'm going to make the icon bigger. To do that, I would go to symbol scale and I will say large, and then I would go to configuration where it says default symbol configuration. I'm going to go to scale. So I'm going to go to the configuration part and select point size. Okay, point size, then I'll increase the point size to 33. I think that's good. Okay, so now we have something looking like this. All right, so the next thing is to actually now design our table view and add these cells to it. So our table view is here ready. This is our table view. So the first thing we'll do is to add a cell to it. Table view cell, remember? And to do that, we would click the plus button and then search UI table view, and you see the cell. So we drag that into our table view under it, and it's in. So now we have our table view cell. That's this white portion up here. So let's drag that down to match the size of the sample we have. When I say the sample, I mean this one. I'm trying to drag it to be this size, kind of. Okay. So I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. Yeah, that looks more like it. Okay, so let's zoom in and then work on it. All right, this is gonna be some work. All right, so we have to now analyze this. So as you can see here, we have looks like we have a vertical stack view at the roots because we have Mary stacked at the top, this image view right below it, this text view, and then these widgets down here. So that looks like a vertical stack view. So let's add a vertical stack view at the roots of our table view cell. Okay. All right, so as you can guess, we click plus, stack view, and then we drag it in here. And yes, we now add the constraints that would, oops, I clicked the wrong button. All right, where was I? Okay, so I click the add constraints and then press 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is going to make our stack view fill the stretch to match the boundaries of the table view cell. So add constraints, great. So now we have the stack view matched. Next thing we're gonna do is let's start designing. So we have a label at the top and then an image view, another label, and then something that looks like a horizontal stack. So let's add that label and image view. So bring in a label, image view, then we have another label, and then a horizontal stack. Okay, looking good. So let's first of all assign a constraint of equal height to all of them, and then customize them to respect this giant image view we have here. So we're going to select the first view, hold on the shift key to select the rest. And then click add constraints, equal heights, add 3 constraints. All right, before I proceed, I noticed my Xcode is getting slow for some reason, so I'm going to restart my Xcode real quick. It's always a quick fix. I don't think I have any that they're running. All right, let me kill this real quick. So I'm going to restart my Xcode and then send it back. All right, I'm gonna come back in. Okay, so now I have equal heights assigned to all of them. I need the image view to have a much bigger ratio. So that would mean something like let's see, 70% space. Let's see, let's try that out and see. So I'm going to find a constraint that deals with the image view, and that would be this one over here. So let's update the ratio 7:3. Let's see. We need more, so maybe 8:3, 8:2. That's 80% and 2. We always think about it in over 10 or over 100. By the way, 80 actually also works. It's a ratio, so they reduce. So see, it's the same thing. So what I like to just reduce them to like 8s and 2. 8:2. How about this? Let's see. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks okay. Yeah, okay. So let me reduce it a little bit. Let me try 7.9, 7.9, and that'll be 2 points. Wait, what's, oh man, I forgot all my math. So 10 minus 7.9, yeah, it happens. 10 minus 7.9. When you do too much math, yeah, that's 2.1. 2.1. Okay, yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, so now this is done. We're going to customize this. So let's call this Mary Simpson. Mary Simpson. And then the label down here, we have it set as maybe today I bought my first jet. Let's try that. Today I bought a jet. Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, this app, the concept behind this test app we're dealing with today is you know, last time we built a bank. So this time around we are I thought it would be cool to simply extend that by creating a social kind of bank whereby the user can post pictures of the newest expensive thing they bought. Um, so, and then each post would weirdly contain the bank balance after the user has paid for this stuff. So, in this case, the user paid for like a car in Miami. So after they bought the car, their bank balance is 5 million. So same concept. So we're going to be showing the picture of what the person bought, how many likes, how many comments, and then the bank balance, of course, the comment, the caption as well, and then the balance of the person's account after they've purchased this. It's a weird kind of app, but I mean, why not do it? So yeah. So next we are going to add these widgets down here. We have our like button, our comments, and then our balance button. Now our balance label. Now also notice that we have a count for the likes and we have a count for the comments. So that means we have a button, a label, a button, and a label. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that first into this stack view here. All right, so let's jump in. So we need a button, a label, another button, and then a label. Okay, so let's rename these buttons and labels to match this so that they can make more sense. So we're gonna call this like button. Okay, and then this one will be like count. Label. And then this would be our comment button. And then this would be our comments count. Label. Okay. All right. So we have this 4 sets. Now the next thing is we notice we have a space here. So now we need to add this space and then this label as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So to add a space, we're going to use a regular UI view for that. and then another label for the bank balance. Okay, so we're gonna call this one space. And then we're gonna call this one balance label. Okay, so like button, like count label, comment button, comment count label, space, and then balance label. All right, so let's assign all of them an equal width, and then we'll customize them to look like this. Okay. So I'll click the first view in the stack view, put on the shift key to click the rest of them, and then click add constraints, equal widths. So now it looks like, yes, we have equal widths all over, but it looks like this one is much bigger. So we need to give this a much more dominant space to match the design we have here. So to do that, we're simply going to find the constraint that has to do with this one and then adjust that. So in that case, that is this one. We're going to find the constraint. By the way, let me label this 6 million. 6 million. Okay, so let's find the constraint for this and adjust it. That will be this one. So balance label, that's the last constraint down here. So adjust the multiplier to be let's see, that looks like a 7.3. Let's try that. Too big, so maybe a let's try a 6.3, 6.4. That's 60% and 40%. A little bit more, so maybe 6.5 and 3.5. Let's take a look. How about 6.4? And 3.6. Yeah, much better. So now we have this set. Let's go ahead and customize them to look like this. Okay. So the first thing we should do is add buttons. So first we want this button to be an image, of course. Okay, so I want it to be a heart image like this. So to do this, we would click the button and then come over here on the image side, and then find the image that has to do with a heart. Okay, this is one way to do it. Another way is to search heart and see what comes up. You have to also use your brain to figure out the name of the icon you're looking for. I personally like to open up the SF Symbols app on my computer. That is this this icon pack I told you to download. I personally like to sometimes open up the pack and search first, and then come here and just type in the name I found. So usually you can find the SF Symbols in your launchpad. Click it. It launches, then you can actually search. You can search for something like, let's say, heart in this case, and you see all these hearts, and then choose which one you want. Imagine you are looking for, let's say, a house. You can find icons of houses. Then you can, copy the name and you can copy the name and use it in Xcode as you want. So let's go back to the hard one. Uh, so again, you don't have to come here, but I personally prefer to sometimes come here and search first. Okay. All right. So I want this bigger, so I'm going to click on. What is going on? So I'm going to click on symbol scale, large, much better. Then for the label, that's the count. So I'm going to change this to like 3. This, remember, these are all temporarily values. Then for the comment button, we're going to assign an image to it, and that image is going to be message. So this one, and I'm going to make it bigger by updating the symbol scale. And then for the count, we're going to say 6 comments. And then I want this to be aligned to the left. Let's see. Also, this should have been a label, not a. This should have been a label, not a button. Okay, let me fix this real quick. So I'm going to delete all these constraints. I'm deleting all the constraints in alignment with this one, so I can update that. So I'm going to press backspace, and then I'm going to delete this wrong widget, which is a button. Should have been a label. I'm going to press backspace on it, and then I'll add the one that is correct, which should be a label. That should come below the comment button. Okay, and this will now be comments comments count label. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to add my weights again. All right, this will be equal width. Okay, then I'm going to reassign a special one to the balance label, which I believe we had done a 6, 4, something like that. Yeah, let's leave it like that to keep things simple. So 6, 4. All right, so then for our comments count, I'm gonna put maybe a 6 here. And then everything is looking good. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center this text here. That is the caption. I'm going to center it. All right, so we have Mary Simpson. This should be capital. So click on it, and then symbol size, bold. Okay, let's see. So next I'm going to shift this whole view in so it doesn't you see how we have a padding along the sides of the cell. So I'm going to do that for our view here, our cell. So to do that, I'm going to select the stack view, which is the root stack view. And then I would go to the size inspector and then click layout margins, language directional, and that gives me a padding of 8 all around it. I can adjust this, but I think the 8 is fine. Okay, so next I'm going to add some space between these buttons here. Do I really need to? No, I don't. I think it's fine like this. But otherwise I would have added some space, but I don't need to. But I do want this one to be special. So I want this to be like this. So I'm going to add a border width to it. So to do that, I will click on it, of course, attributes inspector. Then at the top here, I will add a corner radius to be, let's see, 4. And then a border width of 2. And then color of black. This is the border color, okay? And remember, this is gonna show up when the app is being run. It's not gonna show up here because this is an extension we had added manually, if you remember, in the beginning of the course. So now everything looks good. I do want this to have a unique shade because it's money. So let's try this. Let's see. Isn't that too dark? Let me see if I have something lighter. Okay, then I'll make the text bold. Okay, and then I'm gonna reduce the font size a little bit. Looks like it's too much. Font size, where is it? Okay, and I'm gonna center this. Okay, so next I want to give this whole widget, this whole cell, a unique shade of color. And to do that, I'm going to select my TableView cell. And then I would adjust the background color to something. No, that's way too dark. Want something cooler. Nah, want something lighter. Alright, so I'm gonna pick a custom color. Yeah, I think that's okay. How about oops, I lost the selection. Okay. Gonna make it just slightly lighter. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this. So then I'm gonna change this to clear color because I don't want to color on that view. Clear color. Okay. All right. So this is looking good. I need to increase the text size of our user's name. Okay. and then I'll increase the font size of our caption. All right, perfect. So let's see. So everything is looking good right now. Everything is looking good. One last thing I would do for the customization of this cell is to make the cell rounded corner. I think we already did that. Let's see. Okay, so corner radius will be 6. Let's leave it at 6. All right. Remember, this is gonna show when we actually launch the app. All right. So now we have this designed, and it now matches this. It now matches this. So the next thing we're gonna do is to actually connect this to code. I remember the first thing we are going to do to connect this to code is to create a custom class for our custom cell. So under widgets, let's right click on it and click new file. And this is going to be a Cocoa Touch class because it's interactive. We're gonna click next, and this should be a type of UI TableView cell. And then we're gonna call this let's see, social bank cell. Yeah, social bank cell. Let's leave it at that. Next, and then we would create. So the next thing we're gonna do is to connect this cell we just created to our TableView cell in the storyboard. To do that, we'll go to our cell. Come on. Okay, so we'll go to our TableView cell, click on it, and then click on Identity Inspector. On the class, we change it to this cell we just created, which is Social Bank cell. And then we copy the same name, and then go to the Attributes Inspector, and then put that name in the identifier. Okay, and then press Enter. So now we've connected the Social Bank cell to the new Social Bank cell we created now. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is to connect each of these buttons and labels to our Social Bank cell. Not the view controller, but the Social Bank cell. That's this class we just created. So to do that, we have our storyboard open on one side. Then we are going to hold the Options key on our keyboard and then click on the Social Bank cell. So that opens it side by side. Okay. Okay, now hide this. All right. So now I'm going to start dragging in these labels. Okay. So the first one is our the username. So we're going to drag this in. I'm gonna do it from here. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna drag this in. So we're gonna call this username label. Okay. Then next is our purchase picture. So we're gonna call this purchase image. Purchase image. Connect. Next is our caption. So this is our caption label. I'm gonna hold the Control key, drag it in. Call this caption label. Enter. Then next is our like button. Remember, this is a button, but we are putting it as an outlet because we are dealing with a table view cell. If you remember, this is because we're going to assign the button click from this view controller, not here. Okay. Otherwise, you should add button clicks under the view did load in a normal case. So when you're dealing with the table view cell, if you're using this method I'm teaching, you should add the cell. You should add the button as an outlet at the top in a table view cell class. Okay, so we're gonna call this like button. And then next will be the like count label. So like count label. And then next will be the comment button. And then the comment counts label. Okay. Then next will be our balance widget. So we're gonna call this balance label. All right, so we have our username, purchase image, our caption label, like button, like count button, comments button, comment counts label, and then our balance label. Yeah, all looks good. So now we have this done. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. And if you remember, the next step is connecting the table view itself to the view controller. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's open up we can now close this for now. Let's see. I'm gonna close this storyboard for now. I'm gonna close out this just to be simple. All right. So now we're going to go to our storyboard 8. Oh, no, sorry. Our view controller 8. And then add our table view. And if you remember, to do that, we have to open this view controller side by side with the storyboard. To do that, we hold the shift key, the options key, and then click on storyboard 8. Okay, so this is our table view. I am going to drag it in by holding the control key at the top. We're gonna call this posts table view. Okay, post table view. All right, so we have our table view in. I can now close this back. Okay, so now we have our table view in. So if you remember last time, I showed you a code snippet on how to properly integrate a table view into a view controller. So we're gonna go back to that snippet right now. And that was in phase 8, right? And this was the snippet, extensions and delegates, this one. Okay, I'm gonna open that up. Okay, so in the snippet, we had our table view, we've added that. We had our screen height and screen width. I'm going to add that. Screen height and screen width. And then we had our list of content. So again, we're gonna copy this fridge just to help us remember how this whole thing works. The fridge is going to be the list the table view is going to be based upon. We're gonna get rid of this in a second, but just bring it in for now. The next thing is the initialization of the screen height and screen width. Let's bring that in. Copy. Then in the view did load, that's where we put the initializations. Then our table view delegates and our table view data source, we'll bring that in. Okay, so this also happens in the view did load. So now we have to change this to match the name of our actual table view. So we're gonna call this, or you know what, to keep things simple, let's rename this one to my table view, just to keep things simple. So I'm going to go to refactor and rename. I'm gonna call it my table view to match this one we have here. Okay, so now it matches good. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in this extension here. This is the extension that deals with everything table view. Okay, this is very important. So now we're going to copy this, copy the extension only, just the extension. Let me zoom this in. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the extension. It's much easier to copy when you have this as raw. Okay, copy. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Xcode and then paste it after the last parenthesis. Okay. All right, so now we have this in. The next thing we're gonna do is to rename this view controller test to our actual view controller name. So in this case, it's view controller 8. See that? So I'm going to change that name to view controller 8. Okay, so now everything is in sync. Then under table view cell for row ads, we're going to customize this to match our cell, the cell we created, which is this one, social bank cell. Okay, so let's rename that to match our social bank cell. So social bank cell, and then for the identifier, remember the identifier is the same identifier I made you put over here. Let's see, table view cell, and then under this identifier, that's the same identifier. So you copy that and then bring it in here in our view controller. This is now where you put it in here. So this one is set, and then these are the customizations for the actual content that is being displayed. They're still on red. Okay, so so now we're going to ignore these errors for now, and we're going to go back up here to the fridge. Remember, the fridge is currently what is temporarily feeding the data for this table view. We don't want this. We want it to be our bank. Okay, we want it to be our bank because this is a banking app. I remember this banking app is dealing with social posts. So if you remember, last time we had a bank object, and that bank object was inside our utils, which is right here. So this bank object, we're going to make some little modifications to it to accommodate a social bank post. So what we're going to do to accommodate this is we're going to create a list of posts and add it here to our bank object. Okay, let's come at the bottom here. This is where we're going to add our social posts, social post list. Okay, so so let's first of all create a post object. Okay, let's go all the way down and create a class. This is going to be post. Let's call it post. And this should conform to Codable so that we can save it properly and send it to the cloud if we need to. All right, so now we need to create variables. So on a regular social post, we probably need a name, an image URL, a caption, a like count, comments, which is an array, and then a balance, which comes directly from the bank. All right, so I don't need this, but I'll ignore it. So let's deal with that. So we need a var of type string. Let's call it username, and this is of type string. We don't want to initialize this now. Next, we need a photo URL. So this will be var UR let's call this photo URL, and this will be of type URL. We don't want to initialize it, so we'll put an exclamation mark. Next we have a string caption. So var, that's for this one, that's for this caption over here. Using the same. So we need a string that will save this. So we'll call this caption, and this is of type string. Next we would need like. We will need the likes. We need to keep the likes, and this should be an array list of string because this is a like, and we need to know who has liked and who has not liked. So it should be an array list of string containing usernames of people who have liked the post. So var string var likes, and this would be of type string. Okay, string list. Next we're going to have comments, and this should be, so oh, by the way, we don't need another variable for the like count because we can always get the like count from the size of this list. Okay, that's why we made it a list, and this also makes it possible to remove likes when the user clicks the like button a second time. So next we're going to have comments, and comments is very interesting. Comments has to be because we want users to add comments, like more than one comment, so it can't be just an array list of string. It has to be an array list of a comment object. That way the comment object would contain the username who made the comment, the date, and all those stuff. Then we can add this comment object to an array list of comments. Make sense? So so that means we're going to let's say var comments. So we're going to create this object. This will be an array list of comments. So we're going to create this object called comments. It's not in existence yet. Why is this? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Class comments, and then this should conform to Codable as well. And then the comment should have a name, of course, the name of the person who is commenting. So var username of type string, then var the actual comments, let's say comment text, and this is of type string, and then var comment date, or we can just say date, we don't need to the comment part, date, and this is of type date as a date object. Okay, and also we can also, like, this is really not necessary, but we can also say something like comment likes, likes on this comment, and this would be an array list of strings, but this is really not necessary, but it's something that can be there, but I'm gonna leave it there. So likes on the comments. Okay, so the comment object has username, comment text, date, and likes. All right, so now this comment object is what we have in here. So in the post object we have a username, photo URL, caption, likes, comments, which is a comment, an array list of comments. So we put an exclamation mark here. So next, we would have our balance at the time this post was made. Remember, we have a balance here, balance text here, a balance label. So we're going to have a balance, var balance. This is not the current balance of the bank, but rather the balance at the time this guy made this purchase and made this post. This will be a double. Remember, a double is a number with decimal values. Double. Okay, all looks good. So now we're going to add this post to our bank object. Okay, var going to call this posts, and this would be a type of array list of posts. See that? Simple. And what else? Should I initialize this here? Yeah, let's call this new posts array. So posts array. So let's make it empty from the beginning. Okay. So this, now we have a post list. Okay. So that means every time a new bank is created, it automatically creates a post array for the user. And this post contains all these details, and among the comments contains this comment object. All right, so let's go back to our view controller and change this to be a post instead. So that means we need a bank object. So let's create fake bank accounts. Okay, so we're gonna create one for, remember in the last session we had Bob and Mary. So let's create 4 different banks, Bob, Mary, and maybe Steve and John. Let's create fake bank accounts real quick. All right, so let's create the function for creating fake bank accounts. Func create. Wait, no, we need a function to create. Let me think. Do we need the posts or banks? Let's see. We can mix the two. We can mix the two. So let's create, just to keep things simple, let's create a posts, fake posts. Okay. instead of fake bank accounts. But you do understand what I mean. So instead of creating a bank, let's just create posts, just to keep things simple. But in the real world, you would really just pull this in from bank accounts. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to create one bank account and then create different posts and then show that posts in the list. All right. So let's create posts. Create fake posts. All right. So that means we will need a post object. We would need a post list. Then we just make changes to this post. So we're gonna need 4. var var posts post a. This will be equal to post. Okay. Then we'll do the same for, let's say, 5 times. Okay, so post A, post B, post C, post D, and post E. Okay, so post A dot balance. No, let's start off from name. Post A dot username. This will be equal to Mary Stevens. All right, and then post A dot photo URL. This will be equal to URL object. String. So now we're gonna paste in the URL. So let's go online and find a quick URL. So let's say the first post was a space flight. Let's say space flight images. Let's go with this image. I'm gonna click on copy image address. I'm gonna come up here, paste it in, and remove all the unnecessary details. I'm just deleting the content till I have a JPG extension. I'll copy that, and then I'll paste it in here. So this is our URL for our first post, and then next will be caption. So post a dot caption equal to let's see, I just booked my trip. No, let's say trip to space booked. Trip to space booked. Okay. Then the next will be likes. Likes. Let's just initialize this to 0. So posts a dot likes equal to so we need a new array list of string Okay, just gonna add one like to it. Gonna add let's see Bob. Yeah, okay, so this has one like. What? No, what? Never mind. So I'm gonna initialize this to a new list, and then next we're going to add comments. I'm going to do the same thing for comments. Post dot comments, post a dot comments equal to a new comments array as well. Comments. Okay, and then lastly, the account balance at the time this post was made. Post a dot balance equal to 5 million. 5 million. Okay, so we have our username, our photo URL, our caption, our likes, comments, balance. What is this? Oh, balance is a double. I'm gonna change that real quick to a string just to keep things simple. Balance is a string. I'm gonna change it to a string. Okay. All right. All right. So this is done. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for post B, C, D, and E. So let's go ahead and do that. Can create one more. So post A, post B, post C, post D, post E. Okay, so I'm gonna call this guy Bob Wiggins, and then a photo URL. Let's say this guy bought a supercar. Supercar. Let's say it's this car. I'm gonna copy the URL, copy image address. I'm gonna paste it here and get rid of the fluff. I need it to the point of .jpg, which is the image file extension. Then I'm gonna copy that and paste it into my URL. Okay. This guy's balance will be 1 million. Then this guy, I'm gonna call him Josh Kent. George Kent. Then let's say he bought this car. I'm gonna copy it. Oh, this image is too big. Maybe risky. Trying to load it. I know that's another thing you have to think about when you are importing images into your app. They might be too big and may make your app fat unnecessarily. So I'm going to copy image address, I'll paste it here. Okay, it looks good. Copy. I'm gonna paste it in. All right. Next, I'm gonna call this guy Junior Rich. Okay, let's find a car for him. Let's try luxury yacht. Okay, this one looks good. I'm gonna copy image address. Oops, I forgot to check for correctness. Paste it in here. Right click, copy image address. Wow, that's a very long address. Okay, never mind. Let me find something shorter. How about this one? Copy image address. Okay, much better. Copy. Okay. Okay. Then I'm just gonna repeat the ones I already have. I'm gonna copy this for the remaining guys. Okay. You know what? Since it's only one left, let's make it unique. Let's find a different something for him. That's too big. Too big. Come on, faster. Okay, copy image. Oops, copy image address. That doesn't work. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. So I'm just gonna update the variable names. This is post A. We've changed the name. This one with 1 million. This is, let's say, 6 million balance. This will be 7 million, and then this will be 13 million. All right. So next, this is already post A. I'm just gonna change this to B. 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 And this guy C. 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 Oh, this guy is D now. So D, almost there. D. 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 E. 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 And E. Okay, let's cross check. So this is all A, this is all B, this is all C, this is all G, and this is all E. All look good. Okay. So now we have let me change these to let's. So now we have all these posts created. We're now going to add them to our array of posts. So posts dot append post A. I'm going to repeat this 4 times more. Post B, post C, post B, and post E. So now we have 5 posts in this array. So that means this post is now populated. It's no longer blank. And of course, for this to happen, we have to call this create post. Here, create post. Okay. And then it's good to do this create post before this table view is set up. So let's call this before our table view delegates things happen. Okay. This is how you should think. This table view is going to need the post created here. So this post is better created before the table view is initialized. All right. So now we have the post done. Let's now get rid of this fridge. All right. We can now use our post object. So let's go back to our extensions. So this will be post.count. This is the function that gets the number of rows in each section. So this should be our post.count. And then this is the function that grabs our row heights. So we want the row heights to look something like this. And this is like 1/4 of the screen. So let's specify that. So row height should be screen height divided by 4. Okay. So this one is the one that tells us which row was clicked. We really don't need this now. Then we have the cell for row. This is where the cell customization happens. Okay, so pay close attention here. We don't need this cell.index label. We don't need this. We also don't need this. What we do need is by the way, cell.text label, this is the default label that comes with a default cell. Without you adding anything, you're going to have access to a label called text label. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this for now. So we do have in our cell, we specified our bank cell, we do have in our cell, and we've specified the index, which is what we're going to be using to access the indexes in our post. So we do have cell.username, username label. This will be equal to, first we need to specify which post we're on. So that will be var post. This will be of type post, equal to post, which is this variable post we have all the way up here. This one, that's what we're accessing down there. So we'll say post dot posts, and we'll pass in our index, which is this one. So post index, passing our index to get the index we're on. Okay. So now we have a post object, and then we'll say cell.username label equal to post dot username. Then cell dot photo URL. No, cell dot purchase image. Remember, this was a UI image view. So this is where we set the image on here. I remember we had used Nuke, a library called Nuke, to load image efficiently. we had used this library called nuke. It's in our pod file. We had used it for loading images efficiently, if you remember that. And this was how to load images with a nuke.load image with URL, and then you pass in the image view. It's perfect for image views and for large images. So just as a quick reminder, this was nuke in our pod file. This, where is it? Oh, we think we had added it as a dependency here. So that's it below here, nuke. So following this instruction on their GitHub page, nuke.load image, that's what we're going to use now. We're going to import nuke. Why is my caps on? Imports. Okay. Import nuke. Okay. Then all the way down. So to use this, where is our bank widget? So to load image into this purchase image, which is this image view over here, to load image into it, we're going to use nuke. And to do that, we would simply say nuke dot load image, and this is going to be with URL. Load image with we're passing the URL, and the URL is our cell, our post dot photo URL, comma, and then we're passing the image view, which is cell dot purchase image. Okay. What errors do we have here? Cannot assign value of type string to UI label. Okay, so this should be label.text. Username.text. Okay. Module name has no member named. Load image. Oh, should be capital. Okay, let's look it up real quick. Nuke. This was our initial use of nuke. Oh, we forgot our parameter of into. Okay. So by the way, this brings me to this option of using the search. As you can see, I just used the search to pull up where we had used nuke previously. And I see it's being used correctly here. We were missing this. So this is one quick advantage of using this search. It shows you everywhere that word or that text has been used in your code before. So we'll go back here and we are missing into. Okay, everything looks right. So next we have our caption. So we say cell dot caption label, cell dot caption label dot text equal to, that would be cell dot caption label dot text, that would be post dot caption. Okay, then next we have our let me show you visually. So we've done this one, we've done this, we've done caption. Next is our like button, and then our like count, our comment count, and then our balance. So let's deal with the like count and the comment count now, then we'll do with the buttons. So to do that, we would say cell dot like count, cell dot like count label dot text, and this will be equal to our post dot likes dot count, and then we need to convert this into a string. Okay, so cell.LikeCountLabel.text equal to string post.likes.count. Then let's do the same thing for our comments count. I'm gonna copy this whole thing, paste it down here. So comments count label, comments count label, and then to be our post.comments comments.count. All right, so next we're going to dive into our let's see, we have this, it's gonna be our balance label. So that will be our cell dot balance label dot text equal to string. We don't need a string cast. It's just gonna be our post dot balance, right? Yeah, post dot balance. Okay, so now we have our username, our load image, into our image view, our caption, our like count label, our comment count label, our balance label. So that means the only thing remaining is just this like button and the comment button. So I remember we are going to add the click listeners to them right now, and it works a little bit differently because we're going to use this method we had talked about in the previous post. And the way we do that is so our button is called, let's see, where is our cell class? That'll be this one. So we have a like button. We're going to use that. So cell.like button. So I'm going to paste that here. Cell.like button. All right. So we first of all save the index we're on inside the button. That's what happens here. Then we add a function that would respond to click listeners when this button is clicked. In this case, we have this brown button click listener. That's this button right here. I'm going to rename this to like button. I'm going to rename it to like button. Like. So now this matches this. Good. So that means our like button is set up. And then when the like button is clicked, we're going to toast we're going to toast the like button has been clicked. So to do that, we would say like button clicked. And then, why do we still have this fridge? I thought we got rid of it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the fridge should go. Well, it's fine. So I'm going to get rid of this. So like button clicked, and then we'll toast the index of the like button that was clicked. All right. So now let's do the same thing for the next button, which would be our comment button. Okay. So again, remember we will need a click responder for this button. So let's go ahead and copy this one. Let's copy this and paste it in here. So we're going to call this our comments button click listener. Okay. So let's call this comments button clicked, comments button clicked, and then we toast the index. So now we have our comment button click listener. Also remember, we would always need this Objective-C appendix to the function for button clicks in a table view, cell. So let's copy this whole thing and put it down here, and then customize it for our comments button. Cell.comments button, cell.comments button, and then the only other thing remaining, we've already assigned the index to it. The only other thing remaining is to customize this name for it. So we're going to copy this. That is the name for the callback, and paste it in here. Okay, looks good, it matches. So for this like button, this is the handler, and for this comment button, this is the handler. Okay, so with this done, with these buttons done, that means, oh, by the way, it's a touch up inside. There are many options. Touch up inside is basically a click. There are many options, touch down, repeat. There's all these options, but for clicks, it's a basic touch up inside. So with this done, we can see that we've done everything for this cell. We've assigned the username, the image view, the caption, the like count, the comment count, and the balance. The balance is over here. Let's see, balance. Yeah, that's post balance. So I think the only thing remaining now is to test this app. To test this app out, and then we would if everything is working, we would do one more thing. We will do two more things, which is handle this and then add the tab bar. So let's test this list out and see how it works. And this page should launch from our view controller, our first view controller, which is here, launches view controller 8 and storyboard 8. So let's test this out. Oh, we have an error somewhere. Let's see what error we have. What? Okay, let's rebuild. Looks like we have fake errors. Okay, yeah, those were fake errors. All right, so let's run the app real quick and check. Create fake posts. That happens. It's always good to go over your code before you do an actual run. And our lists are initialized. Post.counts, cell heights. This is used over here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure this is work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let me run and see. This is our launch screen. All right. So advanced TableView cell and tab bar. Let's click that. Okay, it crashes. Let's see. Comments label.text. So this comments post comments was null. Let's see. Was null. Post.comments. For which one? Let's see. This happened inside here. Says unexpectedly found nil while implicitly unwrapping an optional value. Okay, we need to find out why our post comments was no. I do know we initialized it. Post comments. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Where is our bank? Post comments. That's odd. I'm gonna try to fix this fast. We have a comment object here. We have a comment object here. We have one here. Oh, right there, boom. We have C, A, and C. That's the problem. So this should have been a C. Okay, yeah, things happen. This is one of them. All right, so let me do a quick check again. We have E, 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 D, 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 C, 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 B, 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 A, A, A. All right, let's run again. Okay, let's see. So it looks like this is our app. Looks good, but everything is stacked up. So we need to make some space in between them. We need to make some space in between them. Let's go ahead and do that. Where is our storyboard? All right, we need some space. Okay, first let's adjust this image view. Let's see. Scale to fill. This would make the images reach the ends. Okay, so divider. Let's see. TableView cell. Well, let's just add a margin. Let's add a margin. Let's see. margin. I'm trying to think of the best way to just add some separation. Let's do it from the bottom, maybe. So I'm gonna change this from, let's see what we have here. Okay. I'm gonna change this from green to clear color, and then I'll make this one to be the one with the background. That's the stack view. Yeah. Then I'll make the stack view to be rounded instead. Corner radius, let's see, 6. Okay. What else? Border width 1. Border color black. Where is my black? Black. All right. Let's take a look. All right. Let's run the app again and test. Oh, by the way, we need to make this bigger as well. Let's make the widget bigger. So that will be from code all the way down here. So we had it at divided by 4. Let's make it divided by 3. All right, let's run. Okay, much better looking. Much better looking. All right, so now let's also make this image view to be rounded. Let's make the image views to be rounded. All right, let's see. Image view, storyboard 8. Image view, corner radius 6. 6. And let's also add a border line to it. So border width 1. Border color, let's try some kind of gray. Dark gray. Let's try that. See? Yeah, this looks even much better. Okay, now we can scroll. All right, so let's try clicking. Okay, you clicked row 0, that's correct. Let me like. You click the like button. Let's try the comment button. You click the comment button. So everything is working. Let's try this one. Click the like button, click the comment button. So that's working. So this is how you create an advanced table view with advanced cells that look cool. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is our cars, our yacht. Yeah, this is looking good. So you are probably the next thing we should now do is to make this button work, this person button. But I'm going to do that after we've added the tab bar controllers at the bottom. I'm sure you know what a tab bar is. A tab bar is iOS tab bar controller. I'm sure you know what it is. Images. Oh, I meant the navigation controller. Yeah, right here. This is the tab bar controller right here. You've probably seen it in apps, and it's basically those tabs at the bottom that lets you control what's going on the screen. You've seen this in many places. So we're going to add this now to this app. Then after that, we're going to make this button work. The reason I want to do that first is because I want to show you how making this button launch a new screen how the process would change if we have a tab bar at the bottom. So let's go ahead and add a tab bar at the bottom, and then we'll proceed. And to add a tab bar, there are many ways of doing this, but the way I think is the simplest is doing it via code. And to do it via code, you simply need this snippet over here. Um, this code, and I will explain it in a second. Let's copy it, TabBarController. So it's a function. Let's copy it. All right, so let's go to our first storyboard, our first view controller where we launch everything from. Let's go there. That will be the first view controller. So now in the screen 7 button click, this is where we're going to paste in this code, okay? We're going to get rid of the ones we had there previously. Oops, wrong. The screen 8 button clicked here, screen 8 button clicked, okay? So we're going to paste the function we just copied at the last part here, and then copy the code inside of it. Copy the code inside of it. So the code inside the function we just copied, we are going to copy that. And then paste it inside our screen 8 button clicked. Then we can now get rid of the function we got from GitHub. Okay. All right. So now we have this code in here. This code launches a new screen in a tab bar format. Okay. That is in this. That is in this format right here. It launches a new screen whereby you click this, it shows a different view controller. You click this, it shows a different view controller. You click this, it shows a different view controller. So same thing. So we're going to do that now. And to do this, you would need to already have the different view controllers that each tab would launch. You need to have them ready. All right. So this code snippet is divided into 4 sections. The first section is where you specify the view controllers that are going to be launched in this tab bar controller. And then secondly is where you specify the name and then the icons that are going to go on these tab bars. Then of course the launching. So the first part where we specify the view controllers, we obviously want our bank as the first one. So our bank, which is this view control storyboard 7, we obviously want our bank to be one of them. So, and this, oh, by the way, this is the design we're going to be creating now. Let's see. This is the design. So we're going to have our social bank, and then this feed is going to launch our social bank, and then our original bank, and then its settings. Okay, so it's going to be 3 bars at the bottom, and then everything else you're familiar with. So when we click this, it's going to show our bank. When we click this, it's going to show our social bank section, and then this would launch a settings page. So for the first one, it's going to be a bank. Let's So let's specify this to be our view controller 7, which is the one that holds the banking page, the actual banking, not the font social. So that will be view controller 7 and storyboard 7. So I'm going to change this to storyboard 7 and view controller 7. Okay, and then the second one, what's going on? The second one is going to be our feed, which will be our social section. So the social section is storyboard 8, remember? So that should be the second tab. So let's go ahead and implement that. So that will be our storyboard 8 and then view controller 8. And then the third one is going to be a settings page. Now remember, we don't have a settings page of any kind in this app. So let's just pick any random page of view or any random page we've created in the past. Let's see, which one will be suit now? Okay, let's use this car page. Let's use this one. That will be storyboard 3. Let's use that as our quote unquote settings page. So we're going to copy this and paste it below. Oh, by the way, Command C is copy in Xcode, Command V is paste in Xcode. So we're going to change the name of this variable to VC3 and then change this to storyboard 3 since we are dealing with the third screen here, which is the one that we chose to be our settings. Then view controller 3. All right. So down to the customization of the text. So for this one, we want it to be bank, and then the second one we want it to be feed, and then the third one to be settings. So let's go ahead and update that. So for the VC1, view controller 1, we want the title to be bank, and then the second one we want it to be feed. So it's already feed, we're gonna leave it at that. Then the third one, which is this new one, we're going to call it settings, of course. So settings. All right, and then we have the tab bar view controller. This is where you add the view controllers into the tab bars. So to do that, we already have 1 and 2 added. So I'm gonna add this third one. So I'm gonna say comma VC3. Okay, animated, yes. So next we are going to customize the images for our tab bars. That's these images you see here. So the first image, we want it to be a house, to represent like our bank. All right, so let's go ahead and leave that as it is because it's already a house here. And the second one, we want it to be a feed, so that will be newspaper. Newspaper gives you the image for a kind of feed looking icon. Then for the third one, which will be our settings page, I'm going to copy this and paste it down here for our third one. So I'm going to say tab 3, tab 3, and then I'm going to change to tab 3 as well. And then here I'm going to specify the index, which is in this case 2012. Remember, in programming, indexes start from 0. So this is the third one. And here I'm going to say specify the image for settings. And if you remember from our symbols in the icon pack, the settings image is a gear. So see, that's what we are looking for. I don't think something is gonna come up when I type settings. Yeah, it's nothing. But if you type gear, that's when the settings icon come up. So let's use this one, gear. Let's use that one. Okay. So for this one, I'm gonna update to gear. System image name gear. All right. Then lastly is where we present. Okay. And we want to present this as full screen. We don't want it to be in the card format like this. We want it to be full screen because just that's the proper way to present tab bars, you know. So we're going to specify full screen. Where is my Xcode? We're going to specify full screen. If you don't specify this, it's gonna show up as cards. So that's full screen, and then we present. Let's go over our code and look at it. So on screen 8 button clicked, it loads view controller 7, view controller 8, and then our settings page as view controller 3. We set up titles VC1, VC2, VOC. Got a mistake. This should be VC3. This is why it's good to go over your code. Then we have tab 1 here, tab 1, tab 2, tab 2, tab 3, tab 3. 0, 1, 2, all is good. So tab bar, and then we present. All right, so let's test this out and see how it looks. I think we had put the wrong. Oh yeah. This is correct. This is our bank. Yeah, this is our bank. So this is our first page of our bank. This is our feed. This is our settings page. So first page, our feed, and our settings page. So this is how you open a tab bar controller. This is how you open a tab bar controller. See how the icons are working? They automatically change color when you click them, and they are positioned perfectly. And yes, everything works. Remember, we had deposits, everything is working. Feed, everything is working. And then in the settings page, if you remember, we had these fancy cars uploading to the cloud. Yeah, that closed because I had set that button to close. So yeah, everything is working. Just look at the car still working. So everything is working. Now the next thing I want to show you is I'm going to make this button, while this is in a tab bar controller, I'm going to make this button launch a new screen. And when this new screen launches, it's going to produce a back button here. So I want you to see that functionality of a back button like I specified in the things to cover today. Where is it? See, left back button. So I want you to see how that works. So to do that, we're going to connect this button to the screen. Right now it does nothing. We're going to connect it to the screen, and then oh my god, this is so smooth. We're going to connect this to the screen, and then we will make it launch a new screen. So to do that, let's go back to our Xcode. All right, storyboard 8. So we're going to open up the assistance to open up view controller 8. Also remember, you can alternatively hold the options key and click this, but I'm going to do it the more conventional ways, which is click this and then click assistance. All right. All right, so I need to connect this button to our screen, and to do that, I'll scroll all the way up below, right below view did load. I will hold the control key. Oops. I'll hold the control key and drag. Just the one away. Okay. hold the control key and drag it in. We're gonna call this person button clicked. Person button clicked. Okay, and then I will press enter, touch up inside. All right. So when this button is clicked, I would launch a new screen, and let's grab the code for launching a new screen from our first view controller, which has all the code for that. Let's launch which one now? Which one will be cool to launch? Let's see. Let's see what we have here. This one, nah. This one, this one. Yeah, this will be cool. So let's launch our food order app from that's weird, from the person button clicked. So that this is storyboard 4. Okay, so let's go to our view controller 1 and copy the code for storyboard 4. Okay, then we go to our view controller 8, and then under this button, storyboard 8, I mean view controller 8, yeah, view controller 8. So under the new person button, we're going to paste the code to launch a new screen there. All right. Then I would run the app. So this should launch storyboard 8 and view controller 8 while in a TabBarController. So let's see how that works. So now I'm going to click screen 8, and then while in our feed page, I would click this and it launches our food order app. See that? And then if I press back, it goes back to where I was. Press this, launches our food order app. Press this, goes back. See that? So this is how you can easily launch new screens. It's really straightforward. So like I said, the reason I showed you this is to show you that this can be done, and then the system handles the view hierarchy for you by putting this back button here. This is our settings, this is our home, this is our feed. Then this launches a new screen and it brings it here. And yes, everything still works. Chips, remember this, everything still works. Place order. So yeah, this is it. And oh, by the way, see, this is still as we left it, even though we would go to another view controller. When we come back here, it's still as we left it. If we press back, it goes back to the social app. So this is it. I hope you understand everything. Now I've shown you how to create a table view with an even much more complex kind of presented data. I've showed you how to make views curved. I've showed you how to add border colors and how to add border width and border colors. I've showed you how to add buttons to a table view cell. And I've showed you how to add tab bar controllers at the bottom. Remember, the key is this code snippet I gave you here. This one, if you can just copy this and save it somewhere and just reuse it, you have it. Then you have a tab bar controller at your fingertips. So the next thing I want to talk about today is the other kinds of views we have in the iPhone toolbox. So if you remember, in any storyboard, when you click this plus button, it shows you these options of, hold on, let me close this down. It shows you these options of label, buttons, segmented controls. It seemed like we were only using labels, buttons, and text fields. There are all these other ones like segmented controls, which allows you to kind of like, it's kind of like a quick tab option. You've probably seen this in many apps, but they are basically there to help you not reinvent the wheel when you want to do something straightforward. We have a slider like when you want to select the volume, when you're sliding the volume, that's a slider. A switch, you know what a switch is, to turn something on and off. We had used this when we were disabling and enabling our bank accounts. There is the progress view, like when something is downloading. There is the page control, like when you are swiping through a scroll view. Oh, by the way, a scroll view is different from a table view. A scroll view contains an already preloaded content, but a table view, you load the content on the fly. Um, and then we have horizontal stack view, vertical stack view, table view. We've already dealt with these three. They are very important to know, and I'm glad I made you guys know how to use it. Image view, collection views. These are different kinds of views. And oh, by the way, if you ever want to know how any of these works, you can read about it and then do a quick Googling on, let's say, collection view. You can do like, where is my Google? You can do something like iOS collection view example. See that? And then if you press enter, you're gonna see all these options of learning how that system works. I personally prefer to watch a video over that particular view, because that way I can see how it works and then see how to implement it, and then I can now go over the the sample codes. And also something to keep in mind as you go through these options of views and widgets, sometimes you may not find what you need. So let's say you're looking for a speedometer view. You may not find it here. You won't find it here, but someone probably out there has created it before. So you can instead use a site like GitHub to find something like a speedometer view, because someone has probably created it before. Um, let's try this. iOS speedometer view, then type GitHub. Okay, GitHub is a website that hosts a lot of free to use code. People like me and you have created code in the past that they are willing to give it out for people to use for free. So when you do this, you find a lot of options. So like now I searched iOS speedometer view GitHub, and I found these options. Okay, I can actually click through, let's say this one, and go to the GitHub page, and then I'm on the page. I'm on the page. Let me make sure this is an iOS project. Let's see. Custom speed test.net similar progress. But is this an iOS? Let's see. So this is an Android. This is an Android. But you get the point. You get all these options. Um, you get all these options, and then you can click through and see which one matches what you want. Sometimes you can even narrow your search by saying iOS Swift to find the one that was written in Swift. Um, and then from there you can dive in, like this one was written in Swift, and then see what it's like. This one doesn't have a picture. I personally like projects with pictures, so I can know what I'm diving into. So these are things you can think about when here you go. This one is written in Swift and it's iOS. Uh, so these are things you can check out. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can always look up things on GitHub, and then use them. They're free. Um, Another thing I want to mention is that you can also perform the same search from GitHub itself by saying something like iOS speedometer. okay, and search. And then you're going to see libraries for that. And then while doing this search on GitHub, you can specify the language you want. Um, I usually do a Google search first because Google will give me the one that is viral, like the project that is, let's say, the project that is mostly used around the web. While GitHub will give you like the one that is most popular based on stars or what you searched for. But Google is, to me, is much more intelligent in providing libraries sometimes. Um, so depending on what you're looking for and if you whether you find it or not, you can always come to GitHub and search manually. You can narrow them down by clicking Swift. Remember on Google we had to type in Swift. Here you can narrow them down by clicking Swift, and then you click through and oh, this is the same one. Let me find another one. And then you click through and see what you're looking for. This one has no image. Let's see. This one also has no image. Yeah, kind of like not so many of them has images. That's really poor. But so you get the gist. It's good to look around. So that's project on GitHub. You can also try this with something like let's say iOS music visualizer library GitHub. Okay, you see this a music visualizer. Then you click on, let's say, the first one, and then you get to this option whereby you can use these visualizers in your project. Now, you can't find this in you can't find this in the toolbox of iOS. You can't find this here. This is why it's good to look outside the box, like on GitHub, to find these cool libraries to use. Um, so it's good to use, and also it's good to sometimes, depending on your curiosity level, look into the code and see how it's done. You can learn a lot by looking into the code and seeing how these things are created. Um, so this is a pure example of how to, get a library from GitHub, and then you just have to scroll to the installation and follow the installation instructions and import it to your project and then use it. They'll always have the usage examples below it. So this is it for getting libraries from outside of Xcode. So take advantage of these. Me personally, I have my own libraries I've created, like the TinyDB you have been using in this project. I created that, and people are using it. People love it. So take advantage of these free, loving open source libraries out there. And with that said, I will catch you. We've covered hold on. We've covered advanced table views, implementing a list like Instagram. We've covered SF symbols. I told you how to download it. Tab bar controllers and top left back button. We've covered other views and views on GitHub, and then I've told you about the benefits. So where is it? So we've gone over this, and I know it's long, but it's one of the most important things you have to know about how to make an app is how to deal with lists like table views. So with this covered, I hope you've learned a lot so far. I will catch you in the next one. I'll catch you in the next one, okay?